La sangre del rock la transportamos nosotros. redmosquitoradio.com.
Great, thank you. We're just we just came to record the interview, and we can put it on the show. It's going to air on Friday. So,
Nice.
but we're gonna do it now because it's I don't know, it's the time that you have available for us. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for taking the time. We really appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to it.
Oh, great, great. So, how are you getting ready for the show that you're gonna do here in Buenos Aires? I know that you've been here before, but I don't know if you have any expectations.
I all I can say is it's been too long. All of us are really looking forward to getting back to Argentina. It's been far too long. We just good people. We know that, good food, and good music. So we're looking forward to it, no doubt.
So you are aware that people here are very loud and they're exciting. I don't know. A lot of bands get scared sometimes.
Nah, it doesn't scare. Hey, we're loud too, so we'll try to be as loud as the crowd. How about that?
That would be great. And so let's talk about the new record. It's been on the streets for a few months now, and it's been mostly well received. Has it been what you expected, or is it too much?
Well, it's whenever we put out a record, luckily we have some of the best fans ever. We just have to send out a big thank you to all of our fans everywhere, because they always stand behind us and beside us and in front of us and wherever they're going to stand. But we're very lucky, and we worked hard on it. One thing, we always want to make sure we don't make the same record twice. So it's always something a little bit different, but we hope the fans can tell that it's still COC, if you know what I mean. It's going to be a new experience every time, but yet we try to keep our own sound going every time,
Yeah, and how was it? Did you have the songs for a long time, or did you start working on this record and just released it as soon as you had it?
We did not have many songs. What we did was we went on tour. Whenever we were talking to Pepper, we were like, hey man, let's go out and test the waters and go on the road and play shows. So we did. We went to Europe several times and toured the States, and we were just testing, making sure we felt good together. And we did that for almost 2 years. It was like at the end of that time, we had our deal with Nuclear Blast set up, and we just said, hey, no more tours. We kept, people kept saying, hey, come out with us, let's go on a trip, let's do this. And eventually we just had to say, no, it's time to make a record. And so we did. But the thing was, we really didn't have any songs. We wrote and recorded as we went along. We would go in the studio and do these like 4-day sessions or something. And at the end of those 4 or 5 days, we would have 2 songs finished. And then we just kept repeating that over and over, and taking little breaks in between. And that was how we made this record. It was definitely a different experience, but it was very fun for us.
So, in this case, was it like a spoken agreement to make a more slow-paced, more bluesy record, or is it something that just happened while you were making the songs?
I think it just happened, but we had discussed amongst ourselves that the last time we really made a record, all together with us guys was In the Arms of God, and we were just like, let's pretend like we just got finished touring for In the Arms of God, and let's jump off that cliff right there and continue from that point. And I think it worked out good. I think that it sort of sounds like a continuation of where we were there, and jump ahead, 10, 12 years or ever how long it's been. And it came out well. It was, of course, once you start recording, everything's out the window. It's like all bets are off. Everything changes a little bit, which is good. It should. You can't have you start off with a slight plan, but you don't want to follow it too closely because it can sound kind of contrived. So basically it all changed once we started.
That's great. It sounds very spontaneous, and it seems like the chemistry with the return of Pepper, it's been really good for the band.
It has been. We've been having a blast, and I think we're going to spend the rest of this year touring, and maybe even into next year. We'll see how it goes. But we really want to support the new album, so we don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. I hope that this trip down to South America and Argentina and Brazil, and we're going to Mexico as well, I hope that it really solidifies us down there so that we can come back, and because we love it down there, but we really have not spent much time. I'd like to be able to travel back more often. I really would. So hopefully if this tour is a success, we can accomplish that.
Yeah, that's great. And also here we really enjoy heavy music, and I believe that you have a great audience here, so you always have the opportunity to come here in South America and enjoy that, right?
I hope so. As long as promoters are willing to take the chance to bring us down there, that's the important part. If the fans are there, then I think we can find someone to book us shows and bring us back. I hope so.
Now that you're saying this, I can really take this opportunity to ask you, what do you think about working in this industry? Do you think that it's been hard for you to make a living? Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but in this country, it's very hard for musicians to really make a living with the bands, and you always need to do something else in order to, live and to really continue doing music. And I don't know if in the States it's the same, or do you think that just the shows are enough?
Well, it is tough. I mean, being a musician, and if you want to try to make that your only job, it is tough. It is very hard. We've been very lucky. We all do other things. I live on a farm and I raise cattle when I'm home. I love the outdoors and I love animals and whatnot. But I mean, it is very difficult to have that be your only job. It's true, because back, really the only way bands make money anymore as far as being able to continue is the live shows. Because, let's face it, people don't buy, a lot of records like they used to, but they still do some. I think vinyl is saving that a little bit for the record labels and whatnot. But really, a big part of the music industry today, from my perspective, is, you used to make records, in order to, get paid, but now you make records so that you can go on tour. And I think that's, it's sort of like the record is just like you make that in order for you to be able to, have new music and go on tour and perform it live and have fun and all that stuff, and for the fans to have new music. And I think it's kind of reversed itself over the last 15, 20 years. It's a little different story.
Yeah, that's really interesting and also unexpected to hear that, because it always seems like from this side of the of the globe. It always seems like on the States it's like the major entertainment industry, and it seems like it's easy for bands to tour and record, and
Right.
and now it's a new era where bands are releasing more singles and not so many records, and we are starting to think that this may be the new way to do things, right? So
It may be. It may be. Of course, not all bands. There are many bands that depends on how popular you are. There's a lot of bands that make a lot of money.
of course,
but obviously every band can't be that. Cannot be a Metallica or a Justin Bieber or whoever else is making money. So there's a lot of bands that get out there and work and get in the trenches and bring their music to the people. And really, the most important thing is that for a band like us, like COC, if we didn't have the fans that had been there for, decades, really, some of them, some of this have been there for a long time, and they keep coming back. And the next thing you know, they're bringing their kids, and so we got a new generation. That's what keeps this band alive. And obviously other bands like us, that's the only thing that makes it happen is just the people continue to come back and support us. So we're very appreciative.
Going back to your setup, I mean, with the return of Pepper, and have you made any changes to your setup, or now that you're sharing your duties as a guitarist, have you made any changes to the way that you connect your stuff, or what stuff you use on the live shows?
Well, for me, not personally, like equipment wise and guitars and stuff. I mean, I pretty much have my stuff that I've had for so long, but there is a different dynamic versus playing as a 3-piece and going back to a 4-piece, because Pepper and I do share a lot of rhythm guitar tracks, and we switch off on leads, and also just the simple fact that we're playing a lot of the songs that from different albums, like the Deliverance album and Wise Blood and America's Volume Dealer. So we really try to reach back into some of those classic tracks, and it's so much fun having another guitar player play off of. If you're out there as a 3-piece, it is fun. It's cool to do, but I think there's an added element of having that fourth person there, the second guitar player, and we really enjoy trading licks and the harmonies and the dueling solos and stuff. It's kind of fun, we just we sort of live for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course, that's very different when you are as a 3-piece and you try to make a fuller sound with just your instrument. And it seems like you guys do different things with both guitars on the stage. But I was wondering mostly about the fact that you both use SG guitars, and the sound is kind of similar. I don't know if you were expecting to achieve a more even sound with this, or is it just because you enjoy the instrument?
Well, ESP makes our guitars, and Pepper and I have similar looking guitars, but they are quite different, and we use different amps, and we try to make sounds, each of us, that will complement each other. We don't want to have the same guitar tone. He has his own tone, and I have a slightly different tone. Mm-hmm. And we try to marry the two to make them sound good together. It's kind of difficult to explain, but you want them to. You kind of want the tones, the two guitar sounds to marry each other, so that together they sound harmonious and good. They separately they may not be, exactly what you want to hear, but when you mix them together, it's opposed to the final verdict on stage is supposed to be that it sounds good. So that's one thing that we work for. But it's a little different than playing as a 3-piece. Sometimes I go if I'm the only guitar player on stage, I'm probably going to go for a more fuller, crazy sound, like maybe more distorted and whatnot. But whenever we're working together, we're allowed to sort of vary the tones to make the two instruments get together a little closer and sound. It kind of hopefully turns it into a little bigger sound is what I'm shooting at.
Sure. Yeah. That was what I was thinking. That it's great that you guys get along so well, and that there isn't like a feeling of competition. That happens a lot with guitars, or I don't know, between musicians. It seems like you guys really get along.
We do, man. I mean, Pepper's awesome. He does what he does, and I do what I do, and I think it's just a mutual respect, for each other and the other band members as well. Everybody has their thing that they're good at, and for instance, like whenever we go in the studio, especially on the new album, there are certain tracks on there, even like solos and stuff, that will, during the same solo track, we'll pass the guitar back and forth to each other for that same solo. If there's a certain part that Pepper's got a certain little trick that he knows, I'll throw it to him, and then it comes back to what I'm doing. Maybe there's it's got a little vibrato part we're going. So we have a good time doing that stuff. I don't think a lot of guitarists will do that. They want to say, this is my solo and this is my part and my riff. We're not like that. We tend to share and trade off. It's more fun that way.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of egos on the stage, right? And that doesn't seem to happen.
Be. Yeah, we try to steer clear of that. I mean, it's just silly, man, when you do that. If you're not doing it to have a good time, why do it? We're not like that.
That's probably has to do with the fact that you have not become millionaires with this, right? Because if this becomes a business, that's what happens here. The bands are people who are friends and who enjoy playing together, and if you are not enjoying it, you only do it if you're going to become a millionaire, right?
Maybe so. That's a good point. You never know. I wouldn't know though. So.
That's great. It's only about the music then. That's great.
For us, yeah. It's about having a good time. I mean, I love to travel, and so talking about coming down to Argentina, Buenos Aires, and doing all the stuff. I mean, for me, this is a big deal. For all of us, it is. We asked for it. We've been asking forever. Hey, when are we going back to South America? When's it going to happen? Come on, let's get it going. And sometimes it just takes a long time to get the wheel rolling, and I'm super pleased that we're on the way back down there.
That's great. It will be great to have you guys.
If you like to gamble, I tell you how you man. You win some, lose some, it's still the same to me.
I just wanted to ask you one more thing. How do you feel that it's impacted music, the loss of so many great musicians lately, like Lemmy from Motorhead?
Oh man, it's been a tough few, but it always is, man. It's been a tough few years. There's a lot of good guys that passed away. Lemmy was phenomenal. We of course had the pleasure of touring with Motorhead and getting to know Lemmy and someone like that. And it was kind of sad to see him go down, but man, he wasn't going out without a fight. Lemmy was going to keep playing no matter what. And the last time that we played with Motorhead was on a cruise called the Motorboat. And I forget what year it was. Maybe it was 2 or 3, 4 years ago, whatever it was. But he was his health was going down, but he was not giving up. And I love to see that, somebody like that. He was a true rock and roller, and he kept fighting till the end, man. And it was just very inspirational.
Yeah, ever since he passed, we've been hearing a lot of people who's been talking about him a lot, and I don't know, telling anecdotes and a lot of stuff. So that's why I was asking you how this touched you personally, and it's great to know this.
Yeah.
He was really influential, right?
Absolutely.
And also, coming to this topic, do you enjoy? Did you enjoy to play in bigger places like arenas, or is it better when you come to Buenos Aires or places like where you play and smaller venues like the one that you will be playing now?
Right. I love them both. Playing the big places is exhilarating. You know, it's awesome to go out in front of a festival crowd or an arena crowd. You know, I love that. But man, you know, my heart is in playing the theaters and the clubs. It's so much fun to be up close. You know, to be right there with the crowd. It's huge for me. So personally, I prefer the theaters and the clubs. You know, for me. For the live situation, you know, although it is exhilarating on the big stages, but the up close and personal touches me more, I think.
Oh, that's great. It's great to know it. You'll have a big audience here in a small venue, but a big heart.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you for taking the time to talk with us. It will be great when it comes out live on Friday, and we'll be very happy to see you.
Oh, that is great. Thank you so much for taking the time, and please say hello when we come down there.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Nice. Okay, have a good evening.
You too, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
La sangre del rock la transportamos nosotros. redmosquitoradio.com